first primary color mixing we did, we mixed blue and yellow. Primary color yellow and primary color blue. And what we made? We made green. Our second primary color mixing, we mixed primary color blue with primary color red. And before you know it, we made purple or violet. And our third primary color mixing, we mixed primary color red with primary color yellow. When you mix those two together, you make orange. So let's take a quick look at that again. I'm going to show you with the paintbrush. Again, we're going to look at the primary color red and blue. The blue we're going to start with a dip, and the red will start with a dip. If you remember, we put some red on the page, and we filled our space. And then we decided we wanted to change color, so we washed our brush, we wiped our brush, and we dabbed our brush dry, and then we went to a new color. Here's the blue, primary color blue. Ooh, that's fun. Once we put our primary colors on the page, we mixed. So let's look at the mixing. You take your primary color, and you'll bring a little of another primary color, and you bring it together. I think we talked about the colors that came out were plum and purple and violet. Lots of different colors that look like purple. Maroon, sort of raspberry. Let's bring a little more mixing blue in and see what happens. Another one. There we go. So our very nice violets and purples. So that was what we made when we mixed red, and blue. Let's review what happened when we mixed our other primary colors, yellow and red. Yellow and red. You've already seen the red and yellow on the page, so I'm just going to mix now. I'm going to bring the yellow over and a little red, and we make an orange. Very nice orange. And then we'll bring a little more red, and our orange becomes a red orange, very bright, like a flame. Yeah. You can turn your brush if you want to get the point of your brush versus the dab of your brush. You can just use the edge to get more of a point, rather than the tip to get the point. And then if you want to use a bigger stroke, you could push down on the side of your brush and let the bristles just push. And you get a bigger stroke. So that was our orange. Remember, our red and our yellow made orange. And the very first class we did, we put together the primary combinations of blue and yellow. And we made, what do you remember? We made green. Ta-da! I'm going to make a big green triangle here. So, now that we know our primary colors, and we know the colors we can make, we're going to do something even more interesting and fun. We're going to make a tint of a color by using white, and we're going to make a shade of a color by using black. So let's say we want to take a very light version of red, a light red. So I'm going to see, here's my red, I'm going to bring some white to the mixing tray, and then I'll put a very small amount of red in, And suddenly we have a tint of red. It's a light version of red. It's pink. You recognize pink, I'm sure. Pink's a favorite color. I'm going to pink in there. Pink in there. You can bring your pink to the side. Make another triangle on this corner. So once you get your tint, and you use up your tint and show me it on the page, then you might want to show me a shade of red. It's interesting because when you add a dark color, like black to something, you only want to add a very small dab. So here's my red, and I'm going to bring a small dab in and see what happens. Wow! That turned to barn red, almost like the color of a barn. Or a brown red. I really like it. But I'm going to put it right next to my other red so you can see the difference. And it's going to be right next to the pink too. I'll show you. Take a look at this. Yeah. See this dark red? That's the shade of red. You can do tints and shades with any color you want. I'm going to wash my brush and do a tint and a shade with green maybe. How's that sound? Let's give it a try. I'll wash my brush. Let's do a tint of white since we'll do the tints of primary color. I'll take a tint of this white. I'll put white on here. And then I'll bring a little blue over. And there's a light blue. Wow. It almost looks like a cloudy sky. Sort of a pastel sky. I'll put it here next to the blue of the darker blue. Yeah, look at that. I'm filling in some of these. You can see some really light blues. If you want, you can do some light blue dabs. You could make a dot in the middle of something. There you go. Okay. So now you've seen a tint of blue. You've seen a tint of red. Let's do a shade of blue. And that would be by adding the black again. So I'll take my blue to the red. And I'll bring a little bit of black in. And suddenly it almost turned to a gray. My house has this color blue. It's a blue-gray. Really, really like it. It's a nice color for my house. We call it a steel gray. And that would be a shade of blue. What do you think? Is that neat? Before you know it, we're going to have our whole page filled with colors. Primary colors, secondary colors, and tints and shades. You just learned it today. Tints and shades. So let's let you get back to your work. And you get to go make some tints and shades yourself. Remember at the end of class to clean up. Your dirty brushes go in the bucket. Your water goes in the bucket. Your spoons go in the bucket. Your mixing trays go in the bucket. And then your lids go on to keep the paints from getting dry. That was fun. I hope you had fun too.